Hi there, hello. Just check my mic is plugged in there. Yeah, I hope you can all hear me. So today I'm here with Friday's Q&A live, and if you would like to post any questions that you have down below in the comments, and I will get back in and I will answer them and pick them up as you post them. So today I am going to go through some top tips to help you make sure that your home build is a success. And a success to me, and this might be different to you, but a success to me is where you get the space that you want in the way that you want it, a space that both meets your needs and meets your desires, your aspirations. It's what you want, it's what you love, and that it's in the time that you expect and to the budget that you expect. So that is a successful project to me, and I would love to know in the comments below, what do you feel makes a project successful? Would you agree with my assessment of what is a successful project, or have you got your own idea of what makes a successful project? I'd love to know what you think is a successful project. Comment below. If you're watching on the replay, hashtag replay and add your comments. I will be coming back to look at comments even if they're posted after this live. So I am Jane. Nice to meet you if you've not come across me before. I'm Jane Leach, Chartered Architect and the Director and Founder of iArchitect. I specialise in helping homeowners of period property to turn them into comfortable, beautiful, characterful homes that suit a modern lifestyle and help protect the planet. So I specialise in eco-design and architectural conservation. So, top tips for a successful project. I think the absolute most important thing that you can do is make firm decisions. That is the best thing that you can do for your project. Carefully consider things, think through the pros and cons, get somebody's help. Like myself, I help my clients to make their decisions all the time, explaining what are the pros and the cons behind the decisions that they need to make and guiding them through what decisions need to be made at each stage, because you go from big picture through to tiny details, and you want to make those decisions, make them firmly. Once your decision has been made, that's it. Don't change them. You don't change them just because the builder comes along and says, oh, well, it would be much easier to do it this way. Have you thought about that? No. Yes, you have thought about it. You've carefully thought through all your decisions. You've made your decisions. You've taken the time that you needed to make the right decisions for you, and you're not going to be rushed into changing things at a later date just because it's easier for somebody else. You have made decisions firmly and giving full thought to them, so you know that they're the right decision for you, and that is the most fundamental thing that you can do to have a successful project. The second most best thing you can do, I'm losing my words, is to make those detailed decisions earlier than most people think is necessary. So not when you get to site. You don't want to be deciding what tap you're having on your kitchen or which light fittings and where once you're on site. You want to have everything decided way before you get to site, before you get prices from your builder. That is when you need to have your decisions. So make firm decisions and make them early. Make them early and have them all spelt out in paper and get your builders to price based on the decisions that you have made, and what you actually want. Get prices for delivering what you want on those things. And if you can make those decisions really early on, there are loads of advantages to doing that. So you know much earlier what you want, what you need, and you can start to shop around for things. You can buy things in the sale. You're going to need somewhere to store things, somewhere where they can be safe during the work and not damaged, secure. But if you've made decisions earlier on, you've got a really, it gives you a lot of advantages in terms of getting contracts and on prices based on firm decisions made, so that you know when you're on site there is not going to be loads of changes and lots of things which are likely to cause delays or extra cost. All of that, you can preempt all of that by making early decisions, and you can reduce the cost of your project by making those decisions really early and starting to shop around and getting things that are within your budget. My third biggest tip for a successful project is to make spreadsheets. So this is something I do for my clients. I make spreadsheets with lists of all the materials, schedules for all the kitchen units, all the accessories that are fixed. So I don't make any, pot plant. I'm not going to specify out a pot plant. You can get that at any point. But anything that's fixed, so doors, handles, kitchen taps, potentially things like hooks and extra bits and pieces, things that will go, drawer inserts, cupboards inserts, all of those things can all be listed out in spreadsheets. You can get prices against them, and you know that this is the kitchen you want. Equally the same for the bathroom, you can do that. All your finishes, what you want for your floor, any details that you might want, all your profiles for your doors and windows, all the architraves, picture rails, skirting boards, window sills, everything listed out. Equally for all your external finishes, what your roof finishes, your wall finish, which brick you want to use, which render colour, which texture, all these different things can take time when you're on site. And if you've made these decisions early, and certainly if you make external material decisions really early on, before you go for planning permission, you can include all those decisions within the planning application. And then your planning application, once you get approval, it's unlikely to have a requirement that you have to submit material samples. A lot of the time when you get approval, one of the conditions in your planning approval is submit material samples. And if then you leave that too late, like once you're on site, that can actually slow things down on site because you're waiting for the planners to approve the samples. Well, don't do that. Simple way around it. Decide really early how you want your building to look from outside. You'll go through the design process and you'll fix where your front door is, you'll fix where your windows are, how big they are. Fix at the same time what material your walls are going to be, what material your roofs are going to be, what material is your gutter, and actually have a look. And as an architect, this is what I do for my clients, but if you're not using an architect, you need to make sure that you have got all these things spelled out and you do it early enough. The earlier you make decisions, the firmer you make decisions, the better. That is the biggest, best advice I can give you. Make decisions and stick to them. I have had a lot of clients who really struggled with making decisions, and when they've come unstuck is where they have allowed builders to talk them around to changing their minds on things. And if they've worked with me and they've actually looked at all the pros and cons of the decisions that they've made, and they've made those decisions with plenty of time, where they've really thought things through and considered it. And then you get to site and things become a lot more pressurised. You know, builder needs to know by the end of the day so that they can get the materials by tomorrow, that kind of thing. You'll get a lot of time pressured decisions if you're leaving them till you're on site. And at the end of the build, it's so easy to go, oh, I wish we'd not made that decision, or I wish we'd decided it differently earlier on, but we didn't have the time. We had to make a decision quickly, and so we've ended up with this. That is not the ideal situation. Yes, you may still have a reasonably successful project, but if there are little items of regret, then it's not as successful as it could have been. And the best way that you can avoid those little items of regret is by having thought things through in advance, major decisions, and stuck firm to those decisions. Then once you've got all your spreadsheets in place, you give all that information to your builder, and you get them to give you a fixed quote, not an estimate, a quote. And you want at least 3 quotes, so that you're going through a competitive tender process. That's what it's called. And when you ask your builders if they would like to quote, you let them know, we are inviting you to quote in a competitive tender. We want your best price, and we want you to price for what you see on these drawings, on these spreadsheets, this information. This is what we want you to price, and we want you to give us an itemized price with all the elements costed out separately, not a final estimated sum, because then there's loads of room for argument about what that final estimated sum is including, and you don't want that. You want to know, this quote includes for everything that I have asked for. That's what you want to be in that position, and you want to have 3 prices, so you can see, you know, if they're all wildly different, something's wrong there. You need to talk with them, figure out why their prices are wildly different. If they're more similar, around the similar sort of ballpark figure, brilliant. That means, you know, you're getting a reasonable price. Then you can base your decision based on which is the cheapest is one option, or you can decide to go with the builder that you feel is the best at communicating or has the most positive attitude, and then you're going to get a much better result at the end of it. So I hope this has been useful. If you've got any questions, please pop them down in the comments below. That goes for if you're watching live now, or if you're watching on the replay, just put hashtag replay and add comment, question, any other tips that you would like me to give you. If you've got any specific questions about how to make your project more successful, please go ahead and ask me, and I will come back and I'll have a look at them and I'll answer them as best as I can. I'm going to be back next Friday with another Q&A. Yes, I know, Christmas week, but I find a lot of people are stuck at home during Christmas. The weather's not so great, and you're wanting to be at home with family and friends, and you're inside quite a lot, and you're probably going to feel the need for a bit more space. That's what I find a lot come January. A lot of people come to me and say, oh, we need a bigger house. And I think that's a lot because of having been through Christmas, everybody's coming round, and you feel a bit crammed at times, especially when you've got Christmas tree in the corner, piles of presents and all of that taking up space. So I'm going to be back next Friday with a Q&A live. If you're struggling to make decisions for your project and you'd like some help with that, I have a free checklist. You can download it. I'll pop the details up in the description above, so you can go and get hold of the free checklist, and I'll send you several emails to help you to work through that checklist. It's called the Design Your Vision checklist, And those decisions that you're making are kind of like the bigger picture decisions initially. What's your time scale? What's your priorities? What's your budget? What does quality mean to you? Those are really important things, and a few other things. So get hold of a copy of the checklist, work through it either on your own with a partner, anyone who's going to have a say in what happens within your home. Work through it together and make those really fundamental decisions so that you've got the best chance you can have of getting a successful project. You can also join my Facebook group where I give daily tips and prompts to help you thinking what you want to do, and you can always start a new thread and comments in there to ask questions, get help with your project. So go and get yourself your checklist, and I will speak to you next week. Okay, bye for now.